Welcome to Fix It with Fowler. My name's Steve, and in today's video I'm going to explain to you how to protect your boiler with a Fernox TF1 total filter, what it does and how to carry out a simple service to remove any sludge from your system without using any tools. So if you want to find out how much sludge and debris these things can remove, stay tuned as the results will surprise you. So to keep this as simple as possible, we're only concerned really with three of these pipes. Number one is the cold water supply to the boiler. We've got a flow for the radiators, so that is coming out of the boiler and going to the radiators, and then that is coming back, that water will come back on the return pipe through the filter where it's cleaned before it returns into the boiler. That way any sludge that's built up in the system or any magnetic bits of corrosion will be captured by this filter before it enters the boiler. Okay, so how these work then is, as the water passes up, it comes into this cone-shaped filter, creates a vortex, and within that vortex the debris sinks to the bottom, and in the middle we've got a magnet that is in a sleeve. So the magnet stays separate to the actual water that's contained in there, and that all sticks to the outside. So when we come to service it, what we're going to do is we're going to turn the water off completely, remove the magnet, wait for a minute or so, let all the sediment fall to the bottom, and then we can flush that out into a bucket, and I'll show you just how much we get out of one of these. So the first thing we're going to do is to isolate the filter with these valve fittings. Now we've got one at the top, one at the bottom, so we're just going to turn them to 90 degrees so that they're locked. So that isolates this filter now from the rest of the system, because the last thing we want to do is put this debris back into the system. So the next thing we do is we just remove this magnet from the sleeve and put that to one side. Now we've got to wait 30 seconds according to the instructions, but I like to just leave it a little bit longer to ensure that all the sediment will now fall to the bottom of this filter. So before you go any further, get yourself a bucket and place under the filter. You can then unscrew this cap. Now it might be stiff, you might need a pair of grips. Once you unscrew this cap, that then becomes the tool to open the valve at the bottom. So you can open that and then leave that open, and then you can slowly open the valve at the top of the filter. Now you can see the colour of the water, and what we want to do, we want to wait till that runs clear. So once we're happy that that has run clear, then we can put the filter back together. So the first thing we've got to do is close this valve back up. Then we can replace the cap on the bottom of the filter. He says. That little tweak up. Then we just need to put the magnet back inside the sleeve, make sure that's sat in, and now we can just turn the water back onto the filter. So if you turn both these valves back so they're in line with the filter, that allows the flow to go through the filter, and that is job done. So just to show you how much this filter removes, and that is probably over the last 4 months, and we've not really used the heating until the last couple of weeks. So by removing that, that'll help protect the system over the winter months. So the final stage of this job is to top the central heating back up. Because what we've actually done, we've just drained 1/4 of a bucket out of the central heating, which has dropped the pressure within the heating loop. So what we've got here on the boiler at the bottom is measured in bars, and that's the pressure within the central heating itself. So anything below 1 bar will prevent the boiler from working. So what we need to do, we need to top this up. Now underneath the boiler is the filler loop. Now earlier on I mentioned that this is the cold water supply and this is the return for the filler loop. So what we're going to do, we're going to put some water down this loop back into the central heating system. So what we're going to do, they're both turned off at the minute. We're going to turn one of them on. Now that allows cold water to come down here up to this point here. And what we're going to do, we're going to gently turn this on, and you'll see that this needle here will start to move. So as the system begins to fill up, you can see that's already moving. Now what we really don't want to do is overfill this system. So that's it now, up to 1 bar. So I'm aiming to get it about 1.5 bars of pressure. So all we do now is turn that valve off, and then we turn the other valve off, and that is us done. Okay, so that's pretty impressive really, how much these can take out of your system and prevent all that debris from getting to your boiler. So really easy to service. Like I say, you don't need any tools. The only thing you do need to be aware of is, if you've got a combi boiler, how to top the combi back up and reinstate the pressure in the system, which as you can see is really easy to do. So hope you like the video. If you do like the video, please leave me a comment below, hit the thumbs up button and give the video a like. The most important thing, please, if you're not already, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon.